Hey, aloha, y'all. Welcome. I am Daniel Aaron, and manifestation. It's such a tricky word, right? It's so bandied around. What does that even mean? Bandied. It's tossed around like people use it so often and it means so many different things. Well, let's break it down real simple, which I will do in a moment. First, though, what would you love to manifest in your life? What would you love to create? Or, relatedly, what has been your experience so far? Do you feel like when you conceive of something, in the words of Napoleon Hill, you can achieve it, you can create it? And how much effort does it take? How much effort should it take? How long does it take? How fun or arduous, yucky is the process? So, the word manifest, by the way, who's that? Who's that? What do they have to do with this conversation? All of this shall be revealed and more soon. Manifest, right? Here's the way I think of it very simply is, right, when we have something in the infinite field of possibilities in the ethers, right, in the thinking stuff, as Wallace Wattles calls it, in the divine matrix, when there is something that is in the shimmering realm of possibility, or just say it's an idea, right? A concept, a vision. It's not very solid, right? It's not crystallized, it's not concretized. When we take it from that all the way down, and there might be some steps in between we'll get to, into the material world, into 3 dimensions, you could say when we dimensionalize it, when we make it real, when we make it solid, that is making something manifest, right? That's what manifestation is all about. However, the problem is so often people think, in movies like The Secret kind of have played on a little fantasy part of all of us that says, ooh, all I have to do is imagine it. Ooh, there it goes. Here it comes. Red bicycle at the door. Right? Well, not really. Not likely. However, that's part of it. Right? And then what's the biggest missing ingredient in that? Why does manifestation not work? So why are so many people, I know it's a lot of questions. Questions are good though. So many people go toward manifestation. It's not just childlike and it's not just fantasy. It's like because part of us knows we are powerful creators. We can create whatever we want. Part of us knows that. So when we hear, whatever it is, Abraham Hicks or Joe Dispenza say something about manifestation, we're like, yeah, I know I have that power. Come on. So here's the thing that's missing though. So many people get to, okay, I can imagine it, I can visualize it, here's the details, shiny chrome bumper, right? Some people even go to the next powerful step of like, ooh, let me get into the emotion. What does that feel like? I can feel it. Yeah, and that's an attractive force though. And the biggest missing ingredient that gets us, nope, this one, related to this guy over here. By the way, what are those? Tarot cards. Well, they're not cards, they're tapestries, I don't know, cloth. And what do we have here, by the way? This is my little altar where I invest some time every morning. Why am I showing it to you? These 2 dudes, dudettes, doesn't matter their gender, right? Although one is clearly a masculine energy, we'll get to that. Right? They represent something very important when it comes to manifestation and creation. Right? And if you think tarot cards or astrology is like woo-woo, take it up with Carl Jung, right? He's the master of archetypes. And that's what these are. They're energies that are available in all of us. So this one, the Fool, the very first image in the tarot, the major arcana, the Fool, I don't know if you can see it, right? This dude, although it's actually a very feminine or even gender neutral kind of energy, he, she, it is stepping off a cliff with eyes up, chest out, without a care. I think of that as innocence, by which I mean trust and faith. It is the absolutely essential component for all of us when it comes to creation, that we are able to hold ourselves in innocence, meaning we've done nothing wrong. We are good, inherently good, which also means we have the ability to forgive, to powerfully give, to forgive ourselves, to forgive others. Because here's what happens oftentimes: we get seduced by, get excited by, want to jump ahead to that dude. Who's he? The magician, right? The first archetype, the wizard, the sorcerer. Right? Although that sometimes has dark connotations. The wizard is the energy of creation, right? It's the energy of taking divine, and you can see, right? He's got one hand up, one hand down, even a crystal in the upper hand. It's like pulling in divine energy, God energy, electricity, bringing it into this middle zone, alchemizing it through the alembic, the container of who we are, and outputting it into the physical world. Right? This is manifestation. This is dimensionalization. So we love that, right? And we have that ability. Human beings are amazing what we can create. Like technology in some ways is the epitome of that, though so many different things that we have created and continue to create more and more. However, what blocks us from that creation oftentimes is some kind of judgment about ourselves, some negative voice about ourselves. I've heard from 3 different clients in the last 2 days an internal voice that says, I am a loser. And hey, I'll put my hands up because I've used that thought. I've said that thought to myself before. Nothing wrong with it. It's a very common part of our conditioning for a lot of us, right? I'm a loser, I'm worthless, nobody will love me, I'm a failure, whatever forms these take. I'm not good enough and nobody will love me. So many different forms of those. Now, if we say, magician-wise vision, I'm going to create a thriving business. Say, I'm going to create a thriving business doing work that I love, that serves people, coaching, teaching yoga, healing, whatever it is. And then right on top of that, as soon as we say it, then a little voice pops in and goes, no, you're a loser. You can't do it. Why would anybody listen to you? Right? Some kind of imposter syndrome voice. None of that is a problem. The problem is when we don't take care of that voice, right? That's where the innocence comes in. We go, oh, wait a minute. That's just some story I made up. That's an unresourceful thought. That's self-judgment, self-recrimination. Then there's a process. You know, for me, it looks something like feeling that negative judgment. And I do this every morning. I declare who I am, what I'm creating. And then I listen. And I feel, listen to my heart, listen to my body. What judgments do I have to the contrary of that? What self-limiting thoughts do I have? What comes up? And if it's, staying with the example, if it's, I'm a loser, I go, okay, let me feel that. Oh, snap, that hurts. And then I connect to the innocence. And whenever I started believing that, I didn't know any better. Innocence is like the gentle, loving mother that says, oh, honey, you didn't know any better. You were doing the best you could. And so when we can connect to that innocence, then we can let that judgment go. And you know what? It might take more than one time. As for me, right? I still get them. Right? Some mornings I sit into my creative space, to my self-creation space with journal, with candle, and I just tune in and I'm asking myself, Spirit, God, the divine, what do I need? And sometimes just like, it's just a release. I don't even know what the content is. I don't know what it's connected to. So we just do this. of saying it is 3 steps, 3 parts to self-mastery. Awareness, right? That's the ability to actually feel it, not push it down, deny it. Awareness. 2, surrender, releasing, letting go. That's like, oh, I feel this thing where I'm punishing myself. Okay, I have the ability, now that I'm aware of it, to let it go. I can let it go. If it comes back, that's okay. I'll let it go again, as many times as it takes. Then, and only then, by the way, can we get to this dude. That's generation, creation. That's the power to manifest. So, here's my invitation to you. If you know more is possible, if you would like more, if you visioned more, if you stated more, declared more that you would love to create, and it hasn't happened yet, consider the possibility, right, that there's some quicksand below your castle, that there's some poop underneath the frosting. That's the stuff that needs to get healed. That's the letting go. That's the surrender. And we do that with innocence. Once we have the innocence, we have freedom. From freedom, we can create. Y'all, I hope that is useful, interesting, innocuous, fun, empowering. If it's useful, if you'd like to go further, if you want to talk about it, send me a direct message. Let's have a conversation. I would love to get to know you, love to support you in creating everything you would love in your life. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I am sending you so much love.